They called him the heir to Ronaldinho, Brazil's golden boy, and the future of football. Yet, when Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. stepped onto the world stage, his path was far from smooth. Blessed with extraordinary talent, but burdened by immense expectations, criticized for his theatrical style, and defended by millions of fans, his career has been a constant battle between brilliance and controversy. So how did a kid from the streets of Sao Paulo become one of the most expensive players in history? And what price has he paid for fame along the way? To understand the man behind the headlines, we have to go back to the beginning. Neymar was born in Mogi das Cruzes, a modest city outside Sao Paulo, to parents who knew the struggle of making ends meet. His father, Neymar Sr., had been a footballer himself, but never made it professionally. His mother, Nadine, worked multiple jobs to support the family. When Neymar was just 4 months old, the family was involved in a serious car accident that nearly claimed his life. It was the first sign that his journey would be anything but ordinary. Growing up in a cramped apartment, football wasn't just a passion for young Neymar, it was an escape. The family's financial struggles meant that sometimes there wasn't enough money for basic necessities, let alone football boots. But his parents sacrificed everything for their son's dream. "We had nothing, but we had hope," his father once said. That hope would soon be tested. By age 11, Neymar was already showing signs of extraordinary talent at youth level. But with that talent came the first taste of controversy that would follow him throughout his career. His flamboyant style, full of tricks and showboating, divided opinion. Some coaches loved his creativity. Others saw it as disrespectful. "I play with joy," he would later explain. "Football should be beautiful, not just effective." Santos, the legendary club that had nurtured Pelé decades earlier, took a chance on the young prodigy. At 17, Neymar made his professional debut, and it was clear that Brazilian football had found its next superstar. His first goal came just weeks later, a stunning individual effort that announced his arrival to the world. But with fame came scrutiny, and Neymar's every move was now being watched. The pressure of being labeled the next Pelé was immense. Brazil hadn't won a World Cup since 2002, and an entire nation was placing its hopes on the shoulders of a teenager. At Santos, Neymar flourished, scoring spectacular goals and producing moments of magic that left fans breathless. His partnership with Paulo Henrique Ranço, and later with other talented youngsters, created one of the most exciting attacking units in world football. But success came with a price. At just 19, Neymar faced his first major controversy when he was accused of diving and theatrics during matches. Critics called him a cheat. Supporters defended his right to protect himself from aggressive defenders. "They try to kick me because they can't stop me with skill," he responded defiantly. It was a debate that would follow him to Europe and beyond. The move to Barcelona in 2013 was supposed to be Neymar's coronation. Joining Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez in one of the most feared attacking trios in football history, he was expected to help the Catalans dominate European football. And for a while, he did exactly that. The MSN trio terrorized defenses across Europe, and Neymar's creativity perfectly complemented Messi's genius and Suarez's finishing. The 2015 Champions League triumph was the pinnacle of Neymar's Barcelona career. In the final against Juventus, with Barcelona trailing early, it was Neymar who sparked the comeback with a crucial assist and tireless running that broke down the Italian defense. When Ivan Rakitic scored the winner, Neymar's tears of joy showed what it meant to him. He had finally won the biggest prize in club football. But living in Messi's shadow was never going to be easy for someone with Neymar's ambition. Despite the success, he craved individual recognition, the chance to be the main man rather than the supporting act. Barcelona fans adored the Brazilian, but they worshipped the Argentine. It was a dynamic that would ultimately prove unsustainable. Off the pitch, controversies continued to follow him. Legal issues surrounding his transfer from Santos to Barcelona dominated headlines. Tax problems, accusations of corruption, and family disputes played out in public. "I just want to play football," he said during one particularly difficult period. But sometimes it feels like I'm fighting battles everywhere except on the pitch. Then came the bombshell that shook the football world. In August 2017, Paris Saint-Germain activated Neymar's €222 million release clause, making him the most expensive player in history. The move to Paris was about more than money. It was about legacy. At PSG, Neymar would finally be the star, the main attraction, the player around whom everything revolved. "I came here to write my own story," he declared at his Paris presentation. "I want to help PSG achieve their dreams and achieve mine too." The pressure was enormous. Not only did he carry the weight of the world record transfer fee, but he was also expected to single-handedly elevate PSG to Champions League glory. His first season in Paris started brilliantly. Neymar was unstoppable, scoring goals and creating magic that reminded everyone why he was worth every penny of that massive fee. But then disaster struck in the most crucial part of the season. A foot injury in February 2018 ruled him out of PSG's Champions League clash with Real Madrid. Without their star player, PSG crashed out, and questions were raised about Neymar's injury proneness at crucial moments. The pattern would repeat itself with devastating frequency. Just before the 2018 World Cup, another foot injury cast doubt over his participation in Brazil's campaign in Russia. He recovered in time, but carried the weight of an entire nation's expectations on his shoulders. Brazil were among the favorites, and Neymar was expected to finally deliver the World Cup that had eluded him. The tournament started well, with Neymar scoring and creating chances, but controversy followed him even to Russia. His theatrical reactions to fouls became a global talking point, with memes and jokes spreading across social media. When Belgium knocked Brazil out in the quarterfinals, Neymar's tears told the story of another dream deferred. Back in Paris, the injuries continued. Season after season, Neymar would miss crucial Champions League matches due to foot problems, leading to frustration from fans and questions about his commitment. Some whispered that he was partying too much, that he wasn't taking care of his body properly. Others pointed to the brutal tackles he endured as evidence that he was simply unlucky. The 2019 Champions League elimination to Manchester United was particularly painful. With Neymar injured and watching from the stands, PSG threw away a 2-0 first-leg lead to lose 3-1 in Paris. His absence was felt acutely, and critics questioned whether PSG had made the right investments. Personal controversies continued to plague him. Accusations of sexual assault in 2019 dominated headlines for months before being dropped due to lack of evidence. His relationship with his father, who also serves as his agent, came under scrutiny. Family disputes played out in public, adding another layer of complexity to his already complicated public image. The COVID-19 pandemic brought an unexpected opportunity. With the Champions League moved to a single elimination tournament in Lisbon, PSG finally had their chance to win European football's biggest prize. And this time, Neymar was fit and ready. The path to the final was dramatic. Neymar produced some of his best ever performances, particularly in the semi-final against RB Leipzig, where his pace and skill terrorized the German defense. For the first time since joining PSG, he was available for a Champions League final. The dream was within reach. But football can be cruel. In the final against Bayern Munich, PSG fell just short, losing 1-0 despite Neymar's best efforts. His tears after the match showed how much it meant to him, but also highlighted the weight of expectations he carries. Even in defeat, he had shown his quality on the biggest stage. The following seasons brought more frustration. Injuries continued to plague him at crucial moments, and PSG's Champions League dream remained elusive. His relationship with the club became strained, with reports of him wanting to return to Barcelona or join Real Madrid. Contract negotiations became public spectacles, with every detail dissected by the media. Critics pointed that his party lifestyle, his social media appearance, and his apparent lack of professionalism. Supporters countered that he was one of the most skillful players of his generation, unfairly criticized for expressing his personality. The debate raged on, with Neymar caught in the middle. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar represented what many believed was his last realistic chance to win the tournament that has defined Brazilian football for generations. At 30, time was running out for the player who had carried his nation's hopes for over a decade. Fate intervened. An ankle injury in Brazil's opening match raised fears that his World Cup was over before it had truly begun. He recovered to play in the knockout stages, but the injury clearly affected his mobility. The quarter-final against Croatia became a defining moment of his career. After a goalless 90 minutes, Neymar scored a brilliant individual goal in extra time that seemed to send Brazil to the semi-finals. His celebration was pure joy, the release of years of frustration and disappointment. For a moment, it looked like his World Cup dream would finally come true. But Croatia equalized, and in the penalty shootout that followed, Brazil faltered. Neymar didn't even get to take his penalty, watching from the center circle as his teammates missed their crucial kicks. The image of him sitting alone on the Lusail Stadium pitch, head in hands, became one of the tournament's most poignant moments. In 2023, facing another injury setback and growing frustration at PSG, Neymar made another controversial decision. Despite interest from European clubs, he chose to join Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia for a fee that reportedly made him the highest-paid footballer in history. The move sparked debate about the future of football and whether money had triumphed over sporting ambition. Critics accused him of giving up on his legacy, of choosing financial reward over competitive football. Supporters argued that he had earned the right to secure his family's future and that the Saudi League was rapidly improving. As always with Neymar, opinions were divided. Looking back at Neymar's journey, it's impossible to separate the brilliance from the controversy, the magic from the melodrama. He has been blessed with extraordinary talent and burdened by impossible expectations. He has produced moments of pure footballing art, but also been criticized for his conduct on and off the pitch. What cannot be disputed is his impact on the game. At his best, Neymar has been one of the most exciting players of his generation, capable of producing moments that take your breath away. His dribbling, his creativity, his ability to score spectacular goals have entertained millions around the world. But his story also serves as a cautionary tale about the pressures of modern football, the weight of expectation, and the price of fame. From the streets of Sao Paulo to the bright lights of Paris, from Brazil's golden boy to becoming one of the most polarizing figures in sport, Neymar's journey has been anything but straightforward. Whether he will be remembered as a player who fulfilled his potential or one who fell short of greatness remains to be seen. What is certain is that football will never see another player quite like Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. For better or for worse, he has left an indelible mark on the beautiful game. His story continues to be written, and perhaps that's fitting for a player who has always danced to his own rhythm. In a world of increasing conformity, Neymar has remained uniquely himself, talented, controversial, brilliant, and human. And maybe that's enough.